Maypole. In the village of Sallowmere, the Maypole stood tall. It had been rebuilt every year since the 1700s, erected in the town green for spring bank holiday. Bright ribbons, music, laughter, a symbol of joy and rebirth. But not everyone remembered the other side of it. The old legends, the binding. It had been 20 years since the Maypole dance was last performed, not since the tragedy. Back then, 10 local teenagers had danced around it laughing, tipsy from cider. They were never seen again. The story made the tabloids. 10 vanished during Maypole ritual, but it faded like all things do. The pole had rotted, toppled, and been left alone until this year. When a heritage fund came in to revitalize English traditions, Sallowmere's town council saw an opportunity: host a spring bank holiday festival, bring in tourists, celebrate the past. And yes, rebuild the Maypole. The village green was mowed, booths were set up, bunting stretched from tree to tree, and in the center stood the new Maypole, a towering spire of polished oak, topped with a rusted iron ring and 20 ribbons, 10 red, 10 white, fluttering like pennants. The dance was set for dusk. Megan, a university student visiting her gran in Sallowmere, was curious. She'd never heard about the Maypole until this weekend. Her gran grew quiet when asked, just said, "It's better forgotten." That only made Megan more interested. At the festival, volunteers were called for the Maypole dance. Megan stepped forward along with 9 others, some teens, some locals, a few from out of town. The master of ceremonies handed each a ribbon. "Red ribbons to the left, white to the right," he said with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. The music began, a jaunty folk tune on pipe and drum. The dancers began to move, weaving around one another, laughing at first, clumsy but cheerful. But something shifted after the 5th turn. The laughter died, the music slowed. The air grew heavy, the sky tinged with copper as if the sun had stalled. Megan blinked. The dancers weren't smiling anymore. The ribbons. They were tightening. With each pass they twisted tighter, winding around the pole and around the dancers' wrists. The cloth, once silky and soft, had become rough and biting, cutting into flesh. The crowd watched in silence, not in horror, in acceptance. Megan tried to let go. She couldn't. The ribbon tugged her onward. Her feet moved without command. Blood bloomed from her wrists. Her mouth opened to scream, but all that came out was a hollow moan, like wind through an ancient grave. The pole vibrated, a low humming sound that rose from the earth. She looked down. The grass around the base of the Maypole had turned black. The soil was cracking, something pulsing beneath it. Slow, like breathing, or waiting. With the final step, the dance ended. The ribbons were fully wound, now soaked in red. The music ceased. The pole shuddered once more. And then, the dancers were gone. No scream, no light, no smoke. Just 10 trailing ribbons swaying in the still air. Megan's gran lit a candle that night and whispered the old words her mother had taught her. One for the land, one for the sea, one for the branch, one for the tree. 10 must turn, or none shall leave, lest death come knocking on mid-year's eve. The town slept peacefully that night. As they did every year, a Maypole was danced. Thank you for watching Fear Files Real Nightmares. Until next time, keep your lights on and your doors locked.